नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं वाचं ततो जयमुदीरये त्यतं ते पुण्डरीकाक्ष नमस्ते विश्वभावन नमस्तेऽस्तु हृषीकेश महापुरुष पूर्वज सदक्षरं ब्रह्म ये ईश्वरः पुमान् गुणोर्मि सृष्टिस्थितिकालसल्लयः प्रधानबुद्ध्यादिजगत्प्रपञ्चसु सनोऽस्तु विष्णुर्मतिभूतिमुक्तिदः जानीम नैतत् क्व वयं विलीने स्वर्गप्रदे कर्मणि देहबन्धं प्राप्स्याम धन्याः खलु ते मनुष्याः ये भारते न इन्द्रिय विप्रहीणाः नववर्षं तु मैत्रेय जम्बुद्वीपमिदं मया लक्षयोजनविस्तारं संक्षेपात् कथितं तव जम्बुद्वीपं समावृत्य लक्षयोजनविस्तरः मैत्रेयवलयाकारः स्थितः क्षार उदधिः बहिः. With this, the third Adhyaya completes, and we start with the fourth Adhyaya today. At the end of conclusion of Adhyaya 3, Devas are talking about how fortunate Manushyaha, fortunate men are who are born in this Bharata Varsha, where that is, it is a karma bhumi, and any karma that they have done, it automatically contributes towards either reducing the punyam or papam. They can attain either swarga or they can also go for moksha. So this is how he ended this Jambudvipa description of third Adhyaya. Now we start with the fourth Adhyaya. Atha Chaturthodhyaya. This Adhyaya has around 97 to 100 shlokas here. So it's a pretty descriptive Adhyaya and a long Adhyaya, where the rest of the other 6 dvipas are described. Now it is described in a circular fashion here. For each dvipam and the next dvipa that surrounds it, it doubles in size, and as it grows, there is an arithmetic progression kind of thing there. So it just keeps increasing. So it is in a circular fashion here. So we don't know what the concept of that geography is that was there during this Purana time. So Sri Parāśara Uvacha क्षारोदेन यथा द्वीपः जम्बूसंज्ञः अभिवेष्टितः संवेष्ट्य क्षारमुदधिं प्लक्षद्वीपः तथा स्थितः. क्षार udam is water, ksharam udam is salty water. So you surrounding this jambusangnyah dvipah ksharodena abhiveštitah. Jambusangnyah dvipah, the island which is called Jambudvipa, is abhiveshtitah. It is surrounded by ksharam udam, kshara, salty water. So it is surrounded by a salt ocean. Ksharam udadhim samveshtya plakshadvipah tatha stitah. In the same manner, just as how this ocean, the first ocean surrounds Jambudvipam, in the same way, surrounding that salty ocean, you have Plakshadvipa. Plaksha also means fig, Attiparam solrom, Attimaram. So it is a fig tree. There is a huge fig tree in the middle. Just as how in Jambudvipa you have a Jambu Vriksha, from where the name Jambudvipam came in, the same way you have a Plaksha Vriksham in that island, which is beyond that. So, ksharam udadhim samveshtya, surrounding this salty ocean, you have Plakshadvipa, which is around that ocean. Jambudvipasya vistaraha shata sahasra sammitaha saevam dvigunaha brahman Plakshadvipaha udahritah. 10,000 yojanas distance is Jambudvipa's vistara width. Jambudvipasya vistaraha, the width of Jambudvipa extends to Shata Sahasra Sammitaha, 10,000 yojanas. Beyond that, Saha evam dvigunaha plakshadvipaha udahritah. He Brahman Maitreya, dvigunaha saha, double of the measurement of Jambudvipa is Plakshadvipa's measurement. Okay. सप्तमेधातिथेः पुत्राः प्लक्षद्वीपेश्वरस्य वै ज्येष्ठः शान्तः यो नाम शिशिरः तदनन्तरः. In the previous adhyayas, in the first or second adhyayas, we saw how there were 7 descendants, and those 7 people, 3 did not even get into this because they were more into tapas. There were 10 sons of Rishabhava. Yaro orthar enakku chattan, I don't remember who that person was. Medhatiti was one of the person, and he was responsible for Plakshadvipa. Each of his 7 children were appointed in each of those dvipas. So Medhatiti was appointed in Plakshadvipa. Plakshadvipa Ishwarasya Medhatithehe Saptaputraha. He had 7 sons. Who Medhatiti was the Ishwara, he was the king of Plakshadvipa, the island of Plaksha, and he had 7 sons here. Jeshtaha, the first son, was Shantahayaha Nama. The first son was Shantahaya. Tadanantaraha, the second one was Shishiraha, his name was Shishira. Sukhodayaha, third son. Anandaha, fourth. Shivaha, fifth. Kshemakaha evacha. Dhruvaha, seventh. Saptamaha. So Sukhodayastatha Anandaha Shivaha Kshemaka Evacha Dhruvascha Saptamaha Tesham Plakshadvipeshwaraha hi te. So Tesham Putranam Madhye Atra Arabhyate Vakyam. Tesham Putranam Sapta Putranam Madhye Jeshtaha Shantahayaha द्वितीयः शिशिरः तृतीयस्तु सुखोदयः चतुर्थः आनन्दः पञ्चमः शिवः षष्ठः पुत्रः क्षेमकः तदनन्तरं सप्तमः ध्रुवः च एते सर्वे अपि प्लक्षद्वीप ईश्वराः अभूवन्. They also in turn became kings of this Plakshadvipa. पूर्वं शान्तहयं वर्षं शिशिरं च सुखं तथा Anandam. So there were this Plakshadvipa was divided into 7 areas, and the Purvam Varsham, the eastern region, was ruled by Shantahaya, so it got the name of the king himself. So Purvam Shantahayam Varsham. Shishiram cha Sukham Tatha. These are all the different Varshas that were named after the king who ruled. Purvam Shantahayam Varsham, Shishiram, Sukham Tatha, Anandam, Shivam Chaiva, Kremakam, Dhruvamevacha, Maryadakarakaha Tesham Tatha Anye Varshaparvataha Saptaiva Tesham Namani Shrunushva Munisattama. So these were the 7 Varshas that were there. Tesham Varshanam Anye Varshaparvataha Maryadakarakaha Anye Varshaparvataha Cha Asan. There were Maryada Karakaha. There were 7 mountains in those Varshas, in those 7 Varshas, and there were other Varsha Parvatas which were Maryada Karakaha. There were these mountains which belonged to that particular Varsha region, which were Maryada Karakaha, which were also defining borders for each of those regions. They were 7 in number. Sapta eva, Sapta eva, Tesham namani Shrunushva, he Munisattama. He Munisattama Maitreya, Tesham namani Shrunushva. I'll tell you the names of those 7 parvatas that were there in the 7 regions. Gomedaschaiva Chandrascha Naradaha Dundubihi Tatha Somakaha Sumanaschaiva Vaibhrajaha Chaiva Saptamaha. So Gomeda, Chandra, Narada, Dundubi, Somaka, Sumanaha, Vaibhrajaha. These were the 7 mountains that were there in the 7 regions of Plakshadvipa. Varshachaleshu Ramyeshu Sarveshveteshu cha Anaghaha Vasanti Devagandharva Sahitaha Satatam Prajaha. There were subjects, Prajaha. There were people who were staying, Vasanti, Tatra Vasanti. There are people who are staying in this Plakshadvipa. Varsha Achaleshu, Sarveshu, Eteshu, Ramyeshu, Varshachaleshu. In all of these beautiful mountains and which were present in that region, Anaghaha, people who did not make any sins. Okay, sinless people, very pure. Pavitraha eva prajaha, only pure people lived there along with devas and gandharvas. Deva gandharva sahitaha satatam vasanti, they are always living in this Plakshadvipa. Teshu punyaha janapadaha chirat cha mriyate janaha na adhayo vyadhayo vapi sarvakala sukham hi tat. Teshu varasheshu, in those regions, punyaha janapadaha punyaha asan. All of those countries, Janapada is always a place where Jana Nadamattam irukradhuன்னு சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, அதுதான் Janapada, where people keep going back and forth. Those are cities, occupied cities. They are cities. Citizens வந்து பிரஜாஹா ஜனாஹா, எங்க வந்து அந்த பழக்கம் இருக்கும் அத வந்து ராஜதானி அல்லது தி என்டையர் கண்ட்ரிம்பா. ஜனபதாங்கிறது a country where which is formed of different suburbs and the capital, that is called a janapadam. So janapadaha punyaha bhavanti. So the people, the citizens and the entire country or regions were very sacred. Chirat cha janaha mriyate. People used to die only after a long time. He says 5,000 years they lived, it seems. Mriyate janaha. Janahangardu, it is a samanyavachi ekavachanam. In general, a man did not die for a long time. Adan artham. So it's a samanyavachi. Adhayaha vyadhayaha vapi na asan. Adhi manovyatha, vyadhi shariravyatha. So both physical and mental diseases were absent there. Na asan. Sarvakalam sukham hi tat. It was always a time, a happy time always. So sarvakalam sukham hi tat. Tat itukte tasmat sarvakala sukham eva tatra asit. Koncho anvayam might be a little difficult. You have to supply a few more words there. So tat tasmat sarvata sarvada tatra sarvakaleshu api sukhameva asit. Tesham nadyastu saptaiva varshanam cha samudragaha namataha taha pravakshyami shrutaha papam haranti yaha. This is what we need. Shrutaha papam haranti. We don't need to think about how to map which river is there in present day's world. We don't need to do all that. For us, the concept is much more important. When we hear these names, namasmaranena iva tatra papaharanam bhavati ityeva asmakam tatra prayojyam. That's all. That is our goal here. So tesham nadyaha tu, tesham varshanam nadyaha. There are rivers which also give prosperity, fertility to those lands, and they are also 7 in number. Varshanam tesham, for those regions, saptaiva nadyaha samudragaha. There are 7 rivers which go into the ocean. Namataha taha pravakshyami yaha shrutaha papam haranti. I will talk about those by name. I will mention them by name. Namataha pravakshyami yaha, those which by just mere hearing of those names, shrutaha chet papam haranti, they remove our sins. Anutapta shikhi chaiva vipasha tridiva aklama amrita sukrita chaiva sapta etaha tatra nimnagaha. Nimnam gachanti iti nimnagaha. Those which go into a adenna nimna na downward movement nu artham. Nimnam na koracha edathila poradhu, pallathukku pogiradhu nu artham. Those who run down, adudha nimnagaha. Adu river. A natural flow of a river is to go down. So annala nimnagaha tatra nimnagaha nadyaha sapta etaha. These are the 7 rivers that are there, which are Anutapta, Shikhi, Vipasha, Tridiva, Aklama, Amrita, Sukrita. These are the 7 rivers. Ete shailaha tatha nadyaha pradhanaha kathitaha tava kshudra shailaha tatha nadyaha tatra santi sahasrashaha. These are the pradhana, mukhya, important rivers and mountains that I have said to you. Tava kathitaha. These have been said to you, which are pradhanaha, which are the important mountains and nadyaha, rivers. Kshudra shailaha tatha nadyaha ityukte tatha kshudra nadyaha api, tributaries or other smaller rivers and other smaller parvatas, mountains, sahasrashaha santi. There are thousands of those in this Plakshadvipa. Taha pibanti sada hrishta nadihi janapadastu te. Taha nadihi sada te janapadaha hrishtaha pibanti. Those people who live in that janapadaha, the citizens of those countries which are there in this Plakshadvipa, sada always taha nadihi pibanti hrishtaha santaha, they're always happy by drinking the waters of this, and because they are also fertile, and it is like Treta Yugam, it seems. There is no Yuga Avastha here, and it is like a permanent Treta Yugam here. Apasarpini na tesham vai nacha eva utsarpini dvija natu eva asti yuga avastha teshu sthaneshu saptasu. Tesham varshanam, in those areas, or you can call it as for those prajanam, or for those janapadanam tesham athava tesham varshanam apasarpini utsarpini avastha nasti. You can take this avastha here, or yuga avastha natveva asti. There is no separation of chaturyuga vyavastha nasti. And there is also no divisions of, growth and destruction in that area, in this Plakshadvipa. Apasarpini is kshayaha. Utsarpini is vriddhi. There is no kshaya vriddhi vyavastha. There is no destruction or growth in these areas. The constant, there is a prosperity that you can always find there, and there is no reduction in that, nor is there an increase in that. Natu eva yuga avastha teshu saptasu sthaneshu asti. There is no division of yugas in all of these 7 varshas, 7 areas in Plakshadvipa. Treta yuga samaha kalaha sarvadaiva mahamate Plakshadvipadishu Brahman Shakadvipantikesu. Why? Starting from Plakshadvipa to the ending of Shakadvipa, you have 6 islands here. So we are in Jambudvipam. Inside Jambudvipa, we are in Bharatavarsha. Beyond that, you have this first ocean. Then you have Plakshadvipa. Then you have another ocean, which is probably, I think, Sarpihi, Sura, each one will come after that. Okay. So one ocean and then one island, surrounded by an ocean, surrounded by an island. This is the concentric circles, Madri. This is the formation that they probably thought about. Treta Yuga Samaha Kalaha Sarvada Eva, always, He Mahamate, Maitreya, Treta Yuga Samaha Eva Kalaha Teshu Sarveshu Shashtasu Dipeshu. In all the 6 dvipas, you will find only a time frame which is equal to Treta Yuga. What is this Treta Yuga Samaha Kalaha? Tripad Dharmaha Ekapada Adharmaha. So Krita Yugam was where Dharma stood on all 4 legs. In the Treta Yugam, you will find that Dharma was standing in 3 legs, and there was 1 leg of Adharma. So in all of these, so this is not Swargam. That's what he is trying to say. This is still Bhumi, and this is still not Swargam. And so all of these were in Treta Yuga, in one time time warp Madri. They were all in one Treta Yuga column only, where the Dharma was always there 3/4 of the times, and there was one section which had Adharma. Probably when they did too much of Papam, they used to go to one Narakam, and then they had to go through all of that and come here to this thing. We don't know. So, Plakshadvipa Adishu, Shakadvipa Antikeshu, Plakshadvipa Adishu, starting from Plakshadvipa, and Shakadvipa Antikeshu, until the end of Shakadvipa, He Brahman Maitreya Mahamate, Sarvada Eva Treta Yuga Samaha Kalaha Asit. Panchavarsha Sahasrani Janaha Jivanti Anamayaha Dharma Pancha Tu Atha Eteshu Varnashrama Vibhagashaha. There was there are divisions of varnashrama there also, in these dvipas also. Panchavarsha sahasrani, for 5,000 years people lived there. Janaha jivanti anamayaha, without any roga, no diseases for them. Amayam is roga, so anamayaha, no diseases for them. Eteshu varnashrama vibhagashaha, according to the divisions of varna and ashrama, in these Plakshadvipa, starting from Plakshadvipa to ending in Shakadvipa, all of these 6 dvipas, you had people following 5 dharmas, which were ahimsa, not ahamsa, ahimsa, satyam, asteyam, brahmacharyam, and aparigraha. So ahimsa, non-violence, you know himsa. Satyam, speaking the truth. Asteyam, not stealing. Brahmacharyam, practicing celibacy. Aparigraha, not coveting another person's wealth. So these were the 5 dharmas that were being followed in these islands, in all of these 6 islands. Varnascha tatra chatvaraha tan nibodha vadami te. Aham te vadami, I will tell you about the 4 varnas that are there in Plakshadvipa. Varnaha tatra, tatra iti atra tu Plakshadvipe eva. Even though he talked about all the other 6 this thing, now he will tell you about only the 4 varnas that are there in Plakshadvipa. Tan nibodha, tane nibodha, know about them. Nibodha ityukte understand them or listen to them. Aryakaha kuraraha chaiva vidishyaha bhavinaha chate vipra kshatri vaishyaste prakshatri vaishya vipra kshatriya vaishyaste.
என் புக்ல க்ஷத்ரியா தான் இருக்கு.
க்ஷத்ரியா தான் இருக்கணும். நான் கரெக்ஷன் அவ்வளவு அழகா பண்ணிருக்கேன். vipra kshatriya vaishyaste shudrascha munisattama. So in these 4 who are Vipra, that is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra in this Bhumi, in Bharatavarsha, they were known as Aryaka, Kuraraha, Vidishyaha and Bhavinaha in the Plakshadvipa. The 4 divisions which were comparable to the 4 divisions that are there here in this Bhumi. So Aryakaha, Kuraraha, Vidishyaha, Bhavinaha, te eva viprakshatriya vaishyaha shudraha cha iti. Jambu vriksha pramanastu tanmadhye sumahan staruhu plakshaha tan nama samgyaha ayam plakshadvipaha dvijottama. He dvijottama, tanmadhye, tadvipa madhye, in the middle of that concentric circle vandurthuna enge irundhu middle varunu yosikira. It's a very different kind of concept that they had. Maybe ஒரு கோன் மாதிரி இருந்ததா, அதுல இப்படி நடுவுல இருந்தேன், எனக்கு சொல்ல தெரியல. நோ போங்க.
ஒண்ணுக்கு மேல இருந்ததுன்னா இல்ல, ஒண்ணுக்கு மேல நீங்க மேல சொல்றபடி இருந்ததுன்னா
அதுதான் அந்த கோன் மாதிரி இருந்தாதான் இது ஒர்க் ஆகும் தோன்றது. அப்பதான் நடுவுல இன்னொரு ஒரு மரம் இருக்கும்ல.
பிளாட்டா பார்க்க கூடாது, மேல மேல இருக்க மாதிரி பார்க்கணும்.
ஆமா கரெக்ட். 3Dல பார்த்தா தான் நமக்கு வரும். பிளாட்னா அப்படி போடுறச்சு அது சரியா வரல. ஓகே பரவாயில்ல. தன்னாம சம்கியம் அயம் பிளக்ஷத்வீபா. So Jambu Vriksha Pramanastu Sumahan Taruhu. In the middle of this Plakshadvipa, you have a tree, Plaksha Vriksha. Sumahan Taruhu. There is a great big tree which is as big as the Jambu Vriksham in Jambudvipa. Jambu Vriksha Pramanaha. Pramanaha with the same measurement as the Jambu Vriksha which is there in Jambudvipam. You have another great tree here, Plakshaha, which is fig tree, ilya attipadam. Plakshaha tatra tan nama samgyaha ayam Plakshadvipaha. With the name of that tree only, this dvipa also got the name of Plakshadvipa. Ijyate tatra bhagavan taihi varnaihi aryakadibihi seemarupi jagatsrashta sarvaha sarveshwaraha harihi. Tatra Plakshadvipe api Bhagavan Sarveshwaraha Jagatsrashta Seemarupi Harihi. Seemana Yellai. Yellai Uruvamaga avara paakrom. That is, he is like the border for everything. If you think of this Brahmandam, borders are always beyond the text itself. Yeah. Usually it is something in the corner, but he is something beyond the beyond what is within. So he is something, he is the outer ஒரு கட்டுக்கோப்பு மாதிரி இருக்கிறவர். அதுதான் சீமரூபிங்கிற அர்த்தம். One who is like one who keeps everything in check like a border. அதுக்கு ஏதாவது தனியா போட்டிருக்காரான்னு பார்த்தேன், ஒன்றும் போடல.
सोमरूपी इति दत्तमस्ति.
सोमरूपी इति दत्तं.
यज्ञे सोमरसं पिबन्ति किल.
सोमरूपी.
அப்ப பரவாயில்லையே. பார்த்தீங்களா? ஷோ, நல்ல வேளை. நான் இன்னும் 2 தடவை செக் பண்றேன். நிறைய பார்க்கறச்சு I think I'm missing out a lot of corrections. Okay, I'll do that. சரி, சோமரூபிங்கிறச்சு அப்போ because I think the next one is சுரா வருதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அடுத்த இக்ஷு ரசம், அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் சுரா இல்லையா? ஓகே, fine, that's okay. சோமரூபி who is of the form of சோமா, யாக ரூபம், யாகத்துல உபயோகப்படுத்துற அந்த சோம லத்தை இருக்கோ இல்லையோ, அந்த சோம ரூபியாக அவரை பார்க்கிறோம் பகவானாக. தைஹி வர்ணைஹி ஆர்யகாதிபிஹி இஜ்யதே. இஜ்யதே யாகரூபேண யஜ்ஞரூபேண சயேவ பூஜ்யதே இதி இஜ்யதே. So he is worshipped as the form of Somalata, and he is the person who has created this world. Jagat Srashta sarvaha sayeva sarvasya ishvara bhutaha api sayeva sayeva sarva rupena api tishtati tadrishaha harihi bhagavan tatra plakshadvipe ijyate. He is being worshipped there. Plakshadvipa pramanena plakshadvipaha samavritah tathaiva ikshurasa udena parivesha anukarina. Parivesha anukarina in the form of a valayam. Pariveshana usually is something that you cover with, is called a parivesha, outer covering, like a porvaingrolya, like a blanket. So that is a parivesha or valayakara. Valaya anukarina ikshu rasa udena, by waters, udam, water, which is made up of ikshu rasa, sugarcane juice. There is an ocean which is made of sugarcane juice, that is samavritaha. This Plakshadvipa is surrounded by this ocean, and it has a pramanam which is equal to Plakshadvipa. So our Jambudvipa, if you take it as 10,000 yojanas, the Kshara Udam, Ksharodam, salty ocean which surrounds it is also 10,000 yojanas. If you go there, double that pramanam is 20,000 yojanas is your Plakshadvipa, and surrounding that Plakshadvipa you have another 20,000 yojanas of Ikshurasa Udadhi Sagaraha. Ityevam tatra Maitreya Plakshadvipaha Udahritaha Sankshepena Maya Bhuyaha Shalmalam Me Nishamaya इति एवं तव मैत्रेय प्लक्षद्वीपः संक्षेपेण मया उदाहृतः. अन्वयस्तु एवं. Take this as a separate sentence. इति thus एवं in this manner. हे मैत्रेय, तव for you இப்படி மாறிண்டே இருக்கு குயிக்காந்தர்ல. Something I'm doing with my mouse that keeps changing the Tava Plakshadvipaha Udahritaha Sankshepena Maya. I have been brief, I have talked to you, spoken to you about Plakshadvipa. Bhuyaha again. Shalmalam me nishamaya. Listen as I talk about this Shalmaladvipa, which is the next Dvipa beyond this Ikshurasa Udadi. शाल्मलस्य ईश्वरो वीरः वपुष्मान् तत्सुतान् शृणु तेषां तु नाम संज्ञानि सप्तवर्षाणि तानि वै. So शाल्मलस्य ईश्वरः वपुष्मान् एव. The king of Shalmaladvipa was Vapushman, that is his name, and he was a great hero, Veeraha. Tatsutan, Tasya Vapushmataha Sutan Shrunu. I will tell you about the sons of Vapushman. Tesham Nama Samgyani Saptavarshani Tani. Again, this Shalmaladvipa has been divided into 7 areas, taking the names of 7 of his children. श्वेतः अथ हरितश्चैव जीमूतः रोहितः तथा वैद्युतः मानसः चैव सुप्रभः च महामुने. These are the 7 children and they ruled 7 areas in Shalmala Dvipa. Shalmalena samudraha asau dvipena ikshurasa udakaha vistara dvigunena atha sarvataha samvritaha sthitaha. Ikshurasa udakaha asau samudraha. This samudra, this ocean, which has udakaha, water, made of ikshurasa, made of sugarcane juice. This, or so you can even have it as sugar. So one was salty, the next is very sweet. So it is made of the juice of sugarcane, which is also sugar only, right? So asau samudraha, this ocean which is very sweet, made of sugarcane juice, it is surrounded by samvritaha, sarvataha, on all directions it is surrounded by shalmalena, by this Shalmala Dvipa, which is Vistara Dvigunena, which is again twice the size of this Ikshurasa Udadi. Tatrapi Parvataha Sapta Vikneyaha Ratna Yonayaha. There are 7 Parvatas, 7 mountains in this Shalmala Dvipam, which are Ratna Yonayaha, which are the source for many different kinds of gems. Varsha Abhivyanjakaha Yetu Tatha Saptacha Nimnagaha. These 7 Parvatas are Abhivyanjaka. They are suggestive of the 7 regions, because these 7 mountains are the borderline distinguishing factor for the 7 regions. The 7 regions are separated based on the 7 Parvatas there. And there are 7 rivers also flowing. Sapta cha Nimnagaha tatha. There are also 7 rivers in this Shalmala Dvipa. He names them Kumudascha Unnatascha Rakana. Tritiyascha Balahakaha Drono Yatra Mahoshadhayaha Unnatascha. Kumudascha Unnatascha Tritiyascha Balahakaha Drono Yatra Mahoshadhyaha Sa Chaturtho Mahidharaha. That is the 4th one. So the first one is Kumudaha, Unnataha is the second one. Tritiyascha Balahakaha. The third one is Balahaka. The name of that is that. Chaturthaha. The 4th one is Dronaha, Drona Parvata. Yatra Mahaushadhayaha Santi, where there are a lot of great herbs, Oshadhi. There are medicinal herbs found in this Drona Parvata. Kankastu Panchamaha, the 5th Parvata, the 5th mountain is Kanka. Shashtaha Mahishaha, Saptamastata Kakudman, Parvata Varaha. The 7th great Parvata in the Shalmala Dvipam is Kakudman. Sarin Namani me Shrunu. Now listen to the river names of the rivers that I am going to tell you. Yonis Toya, Yonihi is one word, or Yoni Ityapi Asti. Both are readings possible here. So you can take it as either Yoni, Ikar, Dirgha, or Yonihi. So Yonis, Yonihi, Toya, Vitrishnacha, Chandra, Mukta, Vimochani. 6 are there. Nivrittihi Saptami Tasam, Smritaha Taha, Papa Shantidaha. So Yatra Kutrapi Dvipe, Nadi Asti Chete, Sathu Papam Shamayati Ityeva. So Nadi is always an indicatory factor of Tirthasthanam, and it removes our Papa. Smaranenaiva, just by remembering. So Yonihi 1, Toya 2, Vitrishna 3, Chandra 4, Mukta is 5, Vimochani is 6, Nivrittihi is the 7th river that is there in Shalmali Dvipa. Taha Papa Shanti Daha. They are rivers which give us a Shanti for our Papam. They are capable of removing our Papa the moment they are remembered. Shvetam cha haritam chaiva vaidyutam manasam tatha jimutam rohitam chaiva suprabham chapi shobhanam saptaitani tu varshani chaturvarnya yutani. Right? There are 7 regions in this Shalmala Dvipam which are named after the 7 children of Vapushman, who are Shweta, Harita, Vaidyuta, Manasa, Jimuta, Rohita and Suprabha. These are the 7 names of the Varshas. Sapta Etani Varshani. These are the 7 regions. Chaturvarnya Yutani, they also have this Chaturvarnya concept, the 4 divisions. Shalmale yetu varnaha cha vasanti ete mahamune kapilaha cha arunaha pitaha krishnaha chaiva prithak prithak. They are of 4 varnas, colors. That is, they are either you can talk about it as varnashrama in the sense of caste or divisions based on their work, etc. Or they literally have this colored skin. So Kapilaha can be a tawny colored. Aruna is more a reddish color. Pita is yellowish. Krishna is dark colored. They are 4 different skin colors that they have, or they can correspond to 4 different divisions of people. Okay. I think I'll stop with this. Narayanam Namaskritya Naran Seva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vacham Tato Jayamudirayath.